Hello, this is Kyle with Apex Gaming. I'm going to play a little Dimir Control for you today. Been tuning this deck for a while. It's pretty solid, kind of answers everything, kind of focuses around Key to the Archive. So Spellbook is really strong for Key. Just like to get it down, draft one or two of the spells, and go from there. Um, Lier playing everything from the graveyard, Hullbreaker Horror, um, Discover the Formula, really good with Geist Channeler. Geist Channeler is a nice little chump blocker, makes things cost less, and then you can always Fading Hope it, do it again. One little note, sideboard, just a little bit of everything. Some mash removal, some stuff for control, but Toxtrol the Corrosive against creature decks has been really solid, just constantly putting counters on everything, killing stuff, making more slugs. Pretty cool to bring it in from the sideboard. Usually players aren't ready for it. So been just a note. It's been kind of cool in testing. With that said, let's jump into some games. All right, Alchemy, Dimir Control on the play. We have 5 lands. I consider it a Hullbreaker Horror. Let's jam it. I'm not scared at all. We're gonna get the tap land down. Just a note: Port of Carafel. Add a blue, 6 mana, sack it, mill 4 cards, return a creature from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So it's a good way to get our Key to the Archive back if we need to. It looks like we could be playing Clerics, which Clerics can go huge quick. So we're gonna need to start getting some interaction. Yeah, that is a voice of the voice. Don't need a land. There's a removal spell. Sure. Infernal Grass is going to get rid of this voice. Costs us a couple of life, but it's better than them growing that voice because you can bet a creature's coming down this turn. I'll be shocked if it doesn't happen before combat. Hopefully nothing too crazy because I'd really like to get Key to the Archive down next turn if I can. Get something like Approach of the Second Sun. Orzhov, okay. Aspirant. Thankfully the counter's not before combat now. Probably take over this game with Hullbreaker Horror if we can get there. I say if we can get there. Worried about them growing very, very large. Love to take Doomblade here, but I think I gotta grab Approach while I have the chance. Discard a basic Swamp. 2 7-mana spells in my hand. We need to hit something here. Oh no. Clerics is good. I've been playing a lot of Clerics. That is a Field of Ruin. So we can Hullbreaker or Approach because of our Key to the Archive. I think we just Hullbreaker Horror. Approach next turn and bounce something. We actually want to kill the Lunarch Veteran here because of Aura's return creature with converted mana cost less. We don't want him to return the Voice of the Blessed. So we'd rather get Hullbreaker Horror down, block, bounce, Aura. Plus it's 4 mana, so it's a little bit more expensive for them to get down. But hopefully that's not a pipe dream. Our opponent does have 23 life too. If they can play a Valkyrie and gain enough life off of dropping a land and another spell, they could go to 27 and make everything huge, which would be another issue. We are susceptible at 13. That's good news. Hopefully they don't have a removal spell. Doesn't look like they do. No trigger because... Yep, and there's the Valkyrie, so... A land tapped, so that's the issue. Very good news for us. I would love to approach here and gain 7 life, but the multiple spells possibly being cast off of a deluge just bounces everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, I think, because we can even deluge again. We could bounce Valkyrie and Ura Skyclave. So our opponent's putting some mana down. We're gonna go ahead and bounce the Valk. We're gonna grab all the spells we can. Do we want to... Because if we don't cast Jawari Disruption now, we're actually going to... just to get the bounce. Click the wrong one. Opponent let it counter. Sure. We're looking solid here at this point. It'd be really nice to draw a Fading Hope or a Consider. Then we could approach and do that. Actually, our opponent's tapped out here. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say we should, since we have approach in him, we should go ahead and Infernal Grasp, kill the Luminarch, and bounce the Ura again. Shadow's Verdict very good against this deck. Toxrill coming in. I think that's going to be about it. Ura is not enough for a ton of graveyard hate. Good removal, bounce. All of this stuff is very good. I'm going to trim 1 Deluge, 1 Key, 1 Hullbreaker. So we're bringing in a Toxrill. Let's run it like that. Lier is also very good. You know, if you Fading Hope, divide by 0. Lier, Fading Hope, divide by 0. It just makes it really hard for them to get set up. Plus, I mean, all your removal spells, your Bloodchief's Thirst. This would be okay, but I don't have a blue source. I'm gonna keep and pitch a land. No, we need... No, this is tough. I think we get rid of the blue, because we can go blue, blue, black, black. All the Storm Giants will come in first here. Never didn't have the Lunarch veteran. It's not the Lunarch we need to bounce, though. It's whatever they play next. Then +1/+1. No on the second hall. We have 5 lands. Ice Channeler. I hate to do this, but Ice Channeler's going to just drop down there as a blocker. Yep. That's not good. Valkyrie, they're going to start gaining a ton of life. We are very slow, and we have no interaction. And probably shouldn't have kept the hand. I was already on a maul. We don't rip some interaction off of this consider. We're probably dead. I imagine if they have double 2-drop, they're going to go 2-drop, 2-drop, pump the team. Oh yeah, I got to respond now. Another land. And a Fading Hope. That's huge. Valk to the top. Scry. That was huge. Key to the Archive, now 5 mana. So we're hanging in there and doing control things. I really need to find a Shadow's Verdict. We're going to divide by 0 this Valkyrie. Thalia taxing our mana. Good news is we can block Thalia. So we're sustaining on life right now, but we are about to get pummeled. Another divide by 0. I think we just have to run in another turn and just put them off a turn again. They rip a land, they're going to get Valk down anyways. We can bounce it at the end of turn if we have to. Did rip them. Valk is going to enter. We have to bounce. And actually, the good thing is here we're going to trick them, because we're going to bounce Valk. Everything's going to lose its buff, and we are going to block Thalia. So that actually ended up being kind of huge. The downside is we have no answer to Valk again, and it's coming down. Dice Channeler, not gonna do it. So, Dice Channeler for the block. And it did, is it random? Choose an instant. I would have chose Environmental Sciences. I have more cards. Yeah, I thought I had to have even. I wasn't sure. Or I had to have less. Even wasn't considered less. I just kind of wanted to test that. About to get smacked for a bunch. Oh my. It is rip it or die. we get the Shadow's Verdict or we are done. That isn't gonna do it. See what we draft. I don't think there's anything. Oh, Demonic Tutor! We don't have enough mana and we have to discard it. So we'll good game our opponent there. We tried. Hopefully we do a little better here on the play. Oh, Demonic Tutor would have been nuts to go get the Shadow's Verdict. That would have been epic, but we didn't have enough mana. Ah, this is good. Snap Keep. What we want to see. Just bounce, bounce, get them to where we want them, and then Shadow's Verdict. We already have double black. So we'll get the tap land down. Dice Channeler. Gonna go ahead and make Shadow's Verdict cost 2 less. Which is great, because then if we have to with Lear, we can cast it from the graveyard. Sure. Oh, that's a Valk. So, sure. Fading Hope, Thalia. That is tempting. I'm gonna go ahead and draw it. And we're gonna, well, I think we consider. Let's go ahead and draw a card. Huh. You know Thalia's coming down next turn. I was kind of tempted to just, oh, I think we let them play out their hand and then just exile. Hopefully they drop another creature. Sure. Just try to get 1 damage in. If they block, they block. Sometimes you can fool them into thinking you have something. Need to draw some card advantage. Land, 2 cards in hand. I think we let it go. Other Bloodchief's Thirsted or Fading Hope if we need to. I've assumed they're gonna Shadow's Verdict, yeah. Ah, Voice of the Blast. So we're gonna bounce Voice. We'll draw Key. Not a land, but it's going to draft us a spell. Interesting. Wow. So we're gonna grab Demonic Tutor, and then we're actually going to discard it and put it in the graveyard so we can possibly get a Lier. It's 2 or less, so we can't cast. If we get to a Lier here, we can start casting everything from the graveyard. Actually, that was probably a mistake. I should have kept Demonic Tutor, discarded Bloodchief's Thirst, and then used it to get a Lier. And this is why you play the game over and over and over again, so you can learn what your mistakes are. Okay, multiple removals. So yeah, Shadow's Verdict here. From the exile, Key to the Archive, giving us the ability to do that. Now we're sitting with 2 removal spells in hand, 15 life. We need to draw some advantage though. Deluge, anything like that would be fantastic here. Gonna have to knock Hive too. Don't know about you. Probably hitting. I probably would have hit Tutor. Now we're sitting with a removal in our hand and a Field of Ruin, which we will be activating more than likely at some point on the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Looking good right now. And we're playing control and playing faster than our opponent. Love to see that. Sure. You want to let them go to combat, so that way they can't float mana and keep it. I guess we're just hanging out. Maybe our opponent doesn't realize it's their turn. So now that we moved on to combat phase, we're free to there's a Lier. That'll pretty much lock this up. Consider Fading Hope. That's the card advantage we wanted. Basically have a handful. Instant speed removal. That Fading Hope. Consider. I have a feeling, or I mean, our opponent probably just knows this one's over, and their timeouts. Okay, maybe not. There we go. So good. Shadow's Verdicts out of the sideboard took that one for us. Ranked Alchemy, best of 3. Dimir Control. Couple of lands, couple of keys. No filters though. Some removal. I'm gonna try. It's a little bit of a risk. Grab the land. Good sign. Looks like we're playing blue-white control. Has been a little bit of a problematic deck. They have a lot of flicker effects, those kinds of things. They get a lot of value off of Key to the Archive and tapping and untapping with Teferi. toss the creature removal. Leave the creature and or planeswalker removal. Yep, there's a key. So our opponent says, I'll see your key and raise you a key. They toss Portable Hole. We're going to play another key. We're going to start digging into approach mana. Oh, this is interesting. We could grab Demonic Tutor and just tutor up approach. I think we just do that. So, we're going to get rid of the Blood Chief's Thirst here, because the Jwari Disruption doubles as a land. We're going to play Geist Channeler. We're going to decrease the cost of approach perpetually. So we could go, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we can approach here. And then tutor it back up. And our opponent is running hard counter magic. Love to see it. Puts it into the graveyard. So now we have to tutor up. We have to tutor up Lear and cast it from the graveyard. A little bit of a change of plan. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have any hand disruption. Assuming they don't. I haven't seen any of the Azorius decks running Spellbinder. I'm definitely worried about potential counter magic here. We are jamming Lear. We're not going to sit back. I'm assuming. Very nice. Jam it again. They probably just have a Infernal Grasp, or Fateful Absence, excuse me. It is what it is. The longer we sit here, they have a completely full grip. We have a bunch of lands. So we have to continue to try. Nice. Couple Fading Hopes. Activate Hall and put a little bit of pressure on. About all we can do right here. I may bounce. We're going to bounce this for the Scry and then for the possible cost reduction. The nice thing about the cost reduction is it's perpetual. Consider's not a bad card. It's going to dig. We could draw it, see what we get off of it. Can you? I'm not even sure. Can you get the same spellbook card? They have 2 mana. We have plenty of mana to cast it again. Oh, hell yeah. Let's just grab it. Play land, play Geist Channeler, reduce the cost, and hopefully we untap and win. Let's win with the Approach of the Second Sun. From Key. That's what we want to see. Cast your Mascot Exhibition. Oh, we got to protect it with Divide by Zero. That's a game. Put that Test of Talents back in your hand. Nice. That's super fun. That's mean, actually. All right, we're gonna bring in Test of Talents. We're gonna bring in Go Blank and Duress. We're gonna drop our Fading Hopes. We're going to Hullbreaker is really good. Key to the Archives, as you saw, is really good. Divide by Zero is very good. Infernal Grasp, they may run a couple of creatures, but Infernal Grasp isn't super strong. They do run generally Teferi, so Blood Chief's Thirst is better. We need to remove one more. I hate to rip a Hullbreaker Horror because they are just game winning, and if you get two of them, it just completely locks them out. It's not something I want to see a bunch of in my hand. Tough decision here. With 2 Discoveries and 2 Deluges, I'm going to drop a Deluge. Let's do that. Got the double approach win off a Key to the Archive. Super sick. Oh, this isn't bad. Yeah, sure. So it's actually better to hit Divide by Zero than Memory Deluge because Memory Deluge goes as deep as the cards you have. So there's the mana. So you dig as deep as the mana you spent. So if you reduce the cost of Deluge to 2. You now have 2 mana when you cast it, so, or you only get to dig 2. So, what I'm trying to say is better to do the Divide by Zero as the potential. Yeah, we'll go ahead and draw a Hullbreaker. We already have 3 lands. Got another Consider. Very good. We'll get Geist Channeler down, reduce Divide by Zero, because now we have basically a 1 mana, a 1 mana Time Warp essentially. Just put a spell back in their hand. Nico Eris. I have not seen this one. Scry 1, then draw a card. Huh. Not super familiar with that card. 3 mana Planeswalker. Blood Chief's Thirst would have to be kicked. Sure, let's hit it. We have our Consider and our Divide by Zero available here. Don't think we want another Geist Channeler right this second. Other land's okay. Oh, Go Blank. Let's make our opponent discard 2. Gonna grab Teachings to draw here. Fateful in a land. Going to go ahead and main phase a Deluge, probably low on lands. It's the only reason I think the opponent would do that on their turn. Right now, this Nico's not doing a whole lot. So I have 5 in hand, they have 4. I think we're just going to pass here, leave up Deluge. Going to hit Nico, obviously. Oh wait, I mean, Nico can generate another shard token to scry 1 draw card. Ooh, that's brutal. That's the one thing I'm missing right now is a key to the key to the archive. Love to have one of those in my hand. Sure.
They won't even know what hit them.
Go ahead and Deluge. Sure. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with my opponent tossing a counter spell. Teachings of the Archaics doesn't do anything for us. We have to be less when we cast it, so we need to get rid of another card. Unfortunately, it means we're sitting here doing nothing.
I can get you past their defenses.
Hermit. That's sack it, counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 3. Nice. We're gonna get rid of that Hermit. Still has 2 cards in hand, so if I cast Teachings, I'm down to 2. My opponent is untapping with a ton of mana.
Now we've got the edge.
Sure. We can't counter spells. So now we can cast Teachings. We're gonna try. We could cast Hullbreaker at the end, but it's casted Deluge.
Get in the shard. I'll throw you.
I just don't think Lier is gonna land if I cast it. 6, 7, 8. try it. Terraria Disruption is completely useless at this point for the most part. I mean, our opponent has 5-7 mana available. Well, that went through, surprisingly. We have a divide by 0 at 1 now. 3 mana, go blank. I think we just Blood Chief's Thirst this and leave up Consider and divide by 0. So they're going to return, probably counter the divide by 0 here. Can't counter it. Lier's down. Ah, double Valorous Stance. Meant to say nice, but it was on different wording. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and Consider, because Lier's gonna die. We do not want another land. Sure. It's not bad. Well, that was good. So Lier got down, took 2 removal spells out of the opponent's hand. Not 2. Sorry, the Valorous Stance was recast.
Now we've got the edge.
Right? Drew a land anyways. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Opponent has 3 in hand. I think we have 10 mana, so we can Hullbreaker and divide. It's gonna. We're just gonna pass. They're tapped out, so if we respond to this Hullbreaker horror, can't be countered, so Terraria Disruption does nothing. If we Hullbreaker and bounce it, they're just going to Hullbreaker and bounce our Hullbreaker. But then they're possibly tapped out. So I think we do that. We're going to make them spend all their mana to get their stuff back down. Just trying to slow them down and fight for positioning. This gets really kind of crazy here. Problem is, if they have a removal spell, now we're tapped out and we lose our Hullbreaker horror, which is not where we want to be. Hullbreaker, and then I'm assuming... Don't really care about the 2 in the air at this point. Okay, so we have an instant speed. We have instant speed spells. So I think what we want to do here is duress our opponent and make them spend mana. They have 5 available. I need to see the stack here. Divide by 0, back to hand. opponent does not have... Oh, counterspell! We're gonna Jawari Disruption. Counterspell. We're gonna get... I really don't want to get another spell off a key. We're gonna just return the Geist. There's nothing I can do about the Hullbreaker trigger bouncing my Hullbreaker. Let's duress him. So actually, the biggest problem here is... Let's get Nico out. What a nightmare this matchup is. Oh, wow. Our opponent's at 20, we're at 17. We got to play a little faster here. So I do really like the fact that we landed our Discover the Formula, making everything in our hand cheaper. It's really going to help us later. We have a 1 mana Test of Talents. A 3 mana Key to the Archive. Let's get our key down for mana. Opponent is going to deluge, I think. Let's go ahead and Test the Talents it. I mean, they have a Divide by 0, but then we just Test the Talents it again. Ah, they have Hermit. They can counter it. Gotta be Hermit here. There's no way that, I mean, I can't imagine they would let this Test of Talents go through. I mean, I'll get to grab the deluge in the graveyard and everything. Our opponent might have lost connection or something too. Oh yeah, so sacrifice it unless his controller pays 3. I can obviously just pay for the Hermit. I should read cards more often. Also, one thing I want to do is play Environmental Sciences. It's basically just a free fetch at this point, because I did not play land this turn. So, and it got reduced to 1, so I can just play it, gain 2 life. Alright, took it down. I think we were in the driver's seat here. Probably would have taken it anyways. Back with some best of 3 Alchemy ranked. Playing Dimir Control. Removal spell, divide by 0, a couple of dig spells. We got to get a couple of lands. We're on the way. A little risky. Rip the land. That's what I'm talking about. Bloodchief's Thirst. We're going to go ahead and take care of this. Usher the Fallen. Hopefully our opponent does not leave up removal, or doesn't have removal for Lear. Be able to recast all these spirits. Huh. Well, we're going to Geist Channeler Divide by 0. That is a 4/4 spirit. Don't care at all about Skyclave Apparition. Not one bit. Got a land. Beautiful. Actually, we're going to Teachings since we have less cards than our opponent right now. Good stuff. Good stuff. Taking 2 damage this turn. We're okay with that. Need to hit some sort of removal, though, because that Doretha looks good. Whenever... sack it, and then they can cast it for its Disturb 3, and chain creature as when this creature attacks, create a 4/4 white spirit creature taken with flying. It's tapped and attacking, sack it at the end of combat. So, yeah, that's something we want to deal with here. Geist Channeler making stuff cheaper is not really what we want. Another land. Discover the formula. Now Geist Channeler would have been nice. Okay, so there's nothing we're doing right now about... I'm just hoping our opponent does not have removal for this Lear. If our opponent has removal for this Lear, we're in a little bit of trouble. Looks like they're targeting it. Don't have a blocker. Oh, we're in business. Dang. And that Skyclave Apparition isn't anything. I don't know if they have a flicker effect or not. I just think we leave our mana up. We have a 1 mana Divide by 0. I don't really care about attacking right now. I care about locking down the board. Opponent is on Jeskai mana, so I'm assuming they have some potential red spells. Oh! They say we don't have an answer for Lear. Good game. Shadow's Verdict, absolutely coming in. Toxerol coming in. Going to drop 1 Hullbreaker Horror. All of Fading Hope, Bloodchief's Thirst, Infernal Grasp, all of this is really good stuff. We're going to cut 1 Deluge, 1 Key, and let's run it like this for now. Our tempo against creature decks is ridiculous. And we could just put them off so many turns. And Skyclave's not very good. The only thing it hits is Geist Channeler, but Geist Channeler, all we care about is potentially getting in a block anywhere and just making our spell perpetually cheaper. So that way we can continue to cast them with Lear cheap. You know, we can cast a spell a couple times. Oh, would love to keep this. Can't. Oh my. Let's keep it. We got some scries. We're on the draw. We're gonna go ahead and pitch a Hullbreaker Horror. Triple Fading Hope means we have a few turns. We go Fading Hope, Fading Hope, Fading Hope, Lear. We're gonna do it before combat. We don't want our opponent. Ah, yeah, we gotta land already. We're gonna go ahead and keep Blood Chief's Thirst as a removal spell as well. Yep, that's not gonna survive. And now we got Fading Hope up for whatever they cast this turn. Protection from vampires. Sure, we'll put your 3-mana spell back into your hand, cause why not? We'll go ahead and draw the land. We are running out of cards though. That's the only problem with this game plan. So drawing a land right there was important so we could start recasting everything with Lear. Malevolent Hermit. We bounce Usher right now. Hermit. It's just they cast it again. So we're gonna bounce Hermit. It's the more taxing spell. If they boast Usher, whatever. Divide by 0 is not bad here. We're already playing the land for turn. We're gonna get to go get. I need to get the second black down as well. We're gonna get to divide by 0, whatever the first spell they cast. We're gonna let them boast here. Have to do it now because we don't want to get it countered, and I definitely want to go get Mystical Teachings. Nice counter spell. Yeah, and we needed that. So, give our opponent the old nice. Nope, see if our opponent has removal. If they don't have removal, we're going to get to destroy their board. And one card in hand and just drew. Very nice. Oh, let's get on it. Fading Hope the Hermit. Consider's okay. You know what? We do want to land without. Change my mind. We are going to get a Teaching of the Archaics. I said Mystical Teaching earlier. Teaching of the Archaics, excuse me. Aretha. Back for 3. Sure thing. Probably Malevolent Hermit. They don't have blue. I'm not sure if they'll put it down or not. Gonna go ahead and do it. Nice, rip the land. So we don't want to kill Doretha. We go ahead and bounce Doretha. We don't want to take the 4 damage. No Geist Channeler. Trying to buy some time. But it still has a little bit of pressure on. I don't think they'll swing here. Oh! Now they're swinging. Don't have an answer. I think we're done. We can discover. We're out of spells. Can't draw with teachings. Leer, second copy doesn't do us anything, and we got to block 4 mana for a 5/4 flyer. And that's not going to do it. So we're running back. We're on the play this time, and hopefully we can get a little bit more card advantage at the beginning of the game. The counterspell early on the Divide by Zero was big when I couldn't get the teachings of the Archaics. Had a turn where it would have been really nice to cast that and draw some cards. Sure. Down some blockers. Just need to rip something here that we can reduce with Geist Channeler. The Divide by Zero would be awesome. I would love to actually keep that land, but we are going to draw it anyways. There we go. Ooh. Almost grabbed the wrong land. It was like the game heard me. Geist Channeler's a great blocker here against Usher. Now I don't have to spend any resources bouncing it. Also could soak up a removal spell potentially. Sure, that's a paladin class. Good spell. Another solid draw. I think we just hang on here. I mean, let him level up Paladin class or something, and we'll bounce it. Thinking Usher's going to be... What would be really good is let him level it, attack with Usher, thinking that it's going to live, and then we bounce it and then block with Geist Channeler and kill it. That's what they're going to do. So we want to let him attack here, bait him. Now we'll let him know exactly how wasteful their mana has been. We have just set them back all of their turns. So we're going to make teachings less, and then we're going to cast it and fill up our grip. getting in a damage. Look at us. Look at us. Clarion Spirit, sure. Trigger on the stack. We're going to go ahead and bounce it. Do not need a 7th land at this time. I think with our current hand and having another land, I think we wait. We're fine right now. We don't need to force the Leer. Because the +1, we're going to get in for 2 because we're not blocking it. We can divide or memory deluge if we need to. Shadow's Verdict, a nice thing to have. Showdown, yeah, we're gonna tempo him on that. Now we have a 1 mana divide by 0. Presenting a little bit of a clock here. Not much, though. I think they're gonna... Our opponent will get down some blockers and stuff here. Oh! Yep. Paladin class getting the job done. Taxing my stuff. So, Showdown of the Scalds getting through. That's okay. We have a Shadow's Verdict. Opponent has way more hands. We're gonna 1 mana draw several cards. We have 6 mana available. I think we let our opponent get more on the board here. How many cards they can exile and how big they can make Stonebinders familiar. But we have plenty of Baiting Hopes and Divide by Zeros and plenty of mana to cast them, so we're gonna hang out. They don't do anything too crazy here. We're just gonna let them do all this and then exile everything. If they do something we don't like, we can always just bounce that 1 creature, especially if something's 4 mana. Clarion Spirit, putting a counter, sure. We can also cast Environmental Sciences a couple times to gain some life. Second spell is going to make another spirit that can attack, but put a counter on something. Sure. So, no blockers. Gonna take 4 damage. That's fine. It's worth not bouncing any of them. Essentially, we have 2 counter spells. They have 3 mana. Yep. Showdown triggers fine. We are going to use the more expensive divide. Not gonna risk it tapping out. So we get more damage in here. Attacking now, if they chump block, we actually just get more damage in by wiping the board and get rid of our guy's channelers. You just attack with Leer. Yep, that'll about do it. So, nice game. We played pretty decent.